Okay, here we are working on Pong 2.0. We're making it better and better. Let's just review real quickly. So we have a variable right up here, score equals 0. We have declared it. This is important at the beginning of your program. Your computer needs to understand, hey, I'm going to have a variable that's going to be score. It's going to start out at 0, and now we're going to call it up later in the game, and that's what we're going to expand on. But don't forget, we took out the background sprite so we can see our text. We also added text down here at the bottom inside another function green box area, and we're going to bring that in as show score. So right now what's happening inside of the actual program, it's going to go ahead and start here, work and say, okay, background is white. Now we're going to show score, run down here, grab all this information. Now move on to Pong, bounce off, and here we go through there. We're going to add a little bit of math and make the variable score add 1 every time it touches the platform. I'm going to put that in another function. So I'm coming back here, grabbing the top function, bringing it below my text, and I'm going to do Pong math. And this is where we're going to do our math. So every time the Pong touches the platform, I want it to do something. So if I'm saying if something happens, then I want you to do that, that's one of these if statements. So we need to come back to control. And if we're thinking in our brain, if this happens, something else goes on, this is how we bring that in. I'm going to bring that in here, and I'm going to tell it, back to the sprites, if Pong bounces off platform, so I'm going to drag that over. I don't want it underneath. Now watch. It will slip into that little empty text box right in there, and that's exactly where I want to put it. So get the very top left corner right above the word sprite to get inside, and there we go. That's how we want it to expand. So if sprite Pong bounces off target, which happens to be platform, then I want something to happen, right? Okay, let's go back. We're going to bring in some math in a moment, but I need to grab the variable because I need to call up the variable, and then I need to tell it what to do. So I'm not declaring the variable. This is the declaring the one at the beginning, and this is where I want to bring in the variable, tell it what to do. This goes inside the if statement. Now I'm going to tell it score. Remember, we had score written here at the top. Okay, well, I need to bring in score down here. Well, what I want it to do, I want it to do score plus 1. All right, so I'm going to come into math, grab the add operator, drag it down inside of there. You see, these operators don't go anywhere underneath anything. They go all inside of these little text boxes, and this is the text box I want it to be in there. So score equals the variable score plus 1. Now let's take a look. Pong math is defined, but it's not called in your program. Because if I run this program right now, nothing inside of this first green box says anything about this function here. So I need to go back to my functions, grab the single line one, bring it in below show score, and I need to retitle it Pong Math. Now, it doesn't matter to me what you title them as long as you make things the exact same. So Pong Math has to be there, and it has to be there. Now, do you notice that the little yellow warning sign went away? That's because I called it up. Before, it wasn't going to run. Now, let's take a look and see what happens. I'm playing it. It's bouncing. Okay, we added 1. Okay, it hit the again, and it's adding. It's seeming to work all right. Okay. So we're adding and adding and adding, and I can, as long as this little Pong token stays out there, we'll just go ahead and keep racking up the score. So there's not like there's any real end to this game. So we'll have to figure out how many lives we have left after a little while. All right, so in this one, we made sure and we referenced the variable down here, built the Pong math, Pong bounces off platform, we add the score +1 and brought it into the main function area. And now to finish this off a little bit here, on this video anyway, because we got some more things to add, I'm going to go ahead and move some of these statements out of the main program and put them inside some of these green functions. So I'm going to go back to the green function, bring it in. I'm going to drop it in down below, and I'm going to call it keyboard. Oh, we don't want a space in there. Keyboard commands. I'm going to bring my if statements down inside, and I'm just going to drag them from the top here, put them inside of the new keyboard command function, and I'm going to add to it. And we'll deal with that little yellow warning sign in a minute. But I want to do another control. I want to do another if. Because remember how we press the left and it goes left and it doesn't stop going left, or the right, we're going to make it stop. Okay? So let's go back to world. Come on down to key went up. Okay? Key went up, and that needs to be dragged in, not underneath, but inside that little text box. And I'm pressing the left. Uh-oh. Somehow it drug itself up there, and we want it out of that. We might have to go back and rebuild that real quick. Okay, let's go ahead and toss that away. Okay, let me pause the video and rebuild that quick and get going. Okay, I took care of that annoying little issue there. I got my platform velocity X back in the right spot. I've got my key went up right inside of here. I'm going to click down on it, and remember I'm doing the left mouse button and the right mouse button. So I'm going to say right because I did that one first up here. So if the right mouse button goes up, I want to come back here, grab the variable x equals right inside there, and I want to tell it that the platform velocity x under my sprites, platform velocity x, bring it inside of that text box, and we're going to name it platform velocity x equals 0. So if the key is down, it makes it 8. If the key goes back up, it makes it 0, so it'll stop. Go grab another control. We're going to fix the other side. Bring that in. So if key goes up, let's grab that over here underneath my world. We're going to drop that in. We're going to take a look at that and say if the key left. So I've got right and left, same script here. Grab variable, bring in the x equals. Change it to this sprite velocity x, and it's got to slip inside of there. There we go. And I'm going to call it platform velocity x equals 0. So now when these keys are down, it'll do that velocity. When they go back up, it'll change it back to 0. But you know what? It's not going to work because I took all of that out of the main program. Now I need to bring it back in. And that's the last thing we're going to do for this video. Function, single line function. Bring it in right underneath Pong math. Oh no, it got into that one. Let's go ahead and see if we can get the my function out of there, and it doesn't look like we can. So let me see if we can drag it out and erase it. Looks like my program has screwed up, so I'm going to refresh. I'll be right back, pausing the video again. Okay, I've got it reset to Pong bounces off edges. Going to grab the function, grab in the single line function, get it inside of there, There we go. I'm going to retitle that Keyboard Commands. Keyboard Commands, no spaces. Run it. We should see a counter working in the top, and we should also see my platform moves and stops where I want it to be. Moves and stops. Okay, and that's pretty much where we want it at this video. We can go ahead and take care of some of that. Holy cow, it's getting kind of crazy in there. We can go ahead and add some things in. This is Pong 2.0, so we're going to keep making it better and better. Good job coding, guys. Keep it up.